After all the reports, all the speculation, it is now official. Carlos Sainz has joined Ferrari, signing a 2-year contract, and will be partnering Charles Leclerc from the 2021 season. And this obviously means that Daniel Ricciardo will be taking his place at McLaren, partnering Lando Norris from next season. This obviously comes after the shocking news that Sebastian Vettel would be leaving Ferrari after the two sides failed to agree on a contract going forward. And yeah, the past few days have really just been crazy after that news. I mean, initially, it looked like it would either be Sainz or Ricciardo that joined that seat. There was even a few other names in the mix, Giovinazzi, Alonso, Hulkenberg. But yeah, eventually Sainz emerged as the favorite for the seat and ultimately was signed. So the McLaren seat was quite interesting. It could have either been Vettel or Ricciardo. Obviously, it was Ricciardo who eventually got the seat. But from what I heard, Vettel they were obviously in talks, and McLaren actually offered Vettel a seat. However, Vettel declined because, McLaren, they didn't, guarantee that they'd have a competitive car, in the next few years. And, obviously Vettel at the stage of the career that he's in, if McLaren aren't going to be competitive for like the next 3-4 years, then, why should he join them? And, from right now, as of now, we're not certain what Vettel's going to do next. He could go to Renault, or, it's just looking just as likely that he's going to retire. But yeah, let's first talk about Ricciardo to McLaren. I mean, yeah, first of all, what an amazing pairing that's going to be. First of all, Ricciardo and Norris, they are both two very good drivers. Ricciardo is obviously a proven race winner. He is borderline world championship material. Lando Norris, McLaren's up-and-coming talent. And yeah, the two just most exciting personalities on the grid. We're going to see the amount of memes, amount of jokes that's going to be created by them every weekend. So yeah, it really is a good pairing going forward. And one thing that I'm also going to say is that, Renault definitely, they aren't definitely the place to be right now. I don't think anyone wants to go there, to be honest. I believe Alonso is in talks with them, but, they didn't really promise, they weren't able to, fulfill a lot of Alonso's promises of, what he wanted with the team. And yeah, Ricciardo leaving after the year, this doesn't look good on them at all. The fact that they they spent so much money on him. He was only for a year, then he ditched them in a heartbeat. I mean, the fact that Ricciardo believes that a Mercedes customer team can achieve more in Formula One than one of the biggest manufacturers in the world, that definitely does not look good for them at all. But yeah, Ricciardo, I guess he felt that McLaren is looking like the better team now, and yeah, rightfully so. As for Carlos Sainz, I think that, a lot of people are divided over, whether it's the right decision to move from McLaren to Ferrari, because obviously he is leaving quite an amazing environment that he is in. He's the number one driver in an up-and-coming team that's set to get Mercedes engines, and obviously will be quite benefited to the budget cap, and obviously going to a team where he definitely will not be the number one driver. Number one driver is Leclerc for sure. He's going to be an outsider on that team, a team that has been struggling, proved that they can be dysfunctional at times, and with the budget cap coming and regulation changes, Ferrari definitely haven't fared well in times like those. So yeah, I guess Sainz is going because it is Ferrari. I mean, how could you say no to Ferrari? These are the type of things that only a few drivers hope for their entire careers, and it's something that it's only gonna happen once in your career. It doesn't really happen again. So, in my opinion, I think that it definitely was the right decision for Sainz to go to Ferrari because, it's his ticket to having a race-winning car. I mean, McLaren definitely are improving, but at the end of the day, Ferrari are more likely to have a title-winning car in the next 3 or 4 years than McLaren are. That is just a fact. And obviously he is going to be, well, I wouldn't say he's a clear number 2 to Leclerc, but, Leclerc is definitely the guy at Ferrari right now, with them having put all of their faith into him into the future. But yeah, let's see how it can go. I think the way I'm thinking about it is if you're Sainz, at worst, you can just, do what Ferrari say, be a number 2 driver, and have, a solid race-winning career like Bottas. At best, he comes to Ferrari, surprises us all, manages to match or maybe even beat Leclerc, and yeah, he could win a title if he really is, exceeds all of our expectations. So I think that, despite, McLaren being such a good team, him being in such a good position, their trajectory looks really like it's going to go up in the next few years, I still think that Ferrari is the right team simply because it's Ferrari. You do not get these opportunities very often in your career. Most of the drivers don't even get that call up, and it's more likely that they're going to be having a competitive car in the next few years. That is just a fact. You can't really dispute that. As for Sebastian Vettel, yeah, at this point, we don't really know what's going to happen to him. He could go to Renault, could go to maybe Aston Martin, the Racing Point. But yeah, retirement is also looking more likely. Obviously, yeah, he negotiated with McLaren. I think they offered him a contract from what I heard, but yeah, he eventually declined it. So, as a Vettel fan, it's not a great time. Definitely not a great time for them. But yeah, I think at this point, I think if he's not at McLaren, I think it's retirement for Vettel, unfortunately. That is where my head's at right now. But the next question is who is going to be at that Renault seat, obviously, with Ricciardo leaving. Probably not going to be Alonso, although the two sides have talked. Maybe they could promote a junior from their driver academy like Guan Yu Zhou. He has quite a lot of potential. But yeah, it's just really been a crazy time, crazy, silly season just from Vettel leaving Ferrari. It's just triggered all sorts of fireworks. But yeah, at least now that the dust is pretty much settled, at least we know Sainz at Ferrari, Ricciardo at McLaren. Man, this is going to be exciting. Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick news video, which I literally started recording as soon as I heard the news. But yeah, it's definitely really exciting time for F1. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if you're new to this channel, be sure to like and subscribe for more great F1 news and other types of content. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.